Welcome back to this KXLY4 News special, Wake of the Windstorm. It's hard to get this perspective now, but we have just been through the most destructive storm in Spokane's recorded history.
Anyone who's lived in Spokane for a long time often recalls two major events before this. They talk about Firestorm in 1991. High winds ignited 92 fires across the Spokane area. By the time it was over, 114 homes burned down and 2 people were dead.
People also talk about Ice Storm as a defining moment in Spokane history. That chilly mess brought down trees, thick ice, and a massive power outage in November of 1996. More than half the city's residents lost power in what was the worst outage in Avista history until this windstorm last month.
And it's no surprise that this storm was so memorable. We had a record wind gust at Spokane International Airport of 71 miles per hour. That is equivalent to a strong tropical storm, almost hurricane force winds. And in fact, there were reports from around the Spokane area from other reporting sites of wind gusts even higher than that. The previous record for a non-thunderstorm wind gust at the airport in Spokane, 67 miles per hour. So this is a very rare event, one that is hopefully not repeated. Here's a look at a wind scale to give you an idea of what kind of damage you can be looking at. Even in the 55 to 63 mile per hour winds, we are looking at structural damage. Anytime you're over 64 miles per hour, there is going to be widespread damage. Certainly, like we saw with this storm, and hopefully it will be a long time before we see anything like this again.
While for many of us, a week without power was inconvenient, for others, the storm left behind a permanent mark. For many, all they have left is hope. John Hendricks went along with a KXLY4 employee whose new home was ripped apart to go back and be thankful for what's left.
It's everywhere you look.
I get home and I find all this.
Records, shoes, and memories covered in a gray, unearthly looking material.
A lot of roof damage, of course, in the ceiling.
Last Tuesday, KXLY assignment manager Austin Regenball got a call he won't soon forget.
I got a call from my wife, just in tears, saying, "I need you to come home. Something just fell on the house."
A massive pine tree breaking off and slamming into their home they bought only a few months ago. But that's not the heart-stopping moment of this story. Austin's wife, Jenny, was standing right here when that tree came crashing down.
She says she heard something fall and then was just kind of blinded by all the insulation and everything just dropping on her.
Insurance is helping them with the cleanup and repairs, but with so many making calls for help, it will likely be months before they're back home.
The amount of destruction is crazy, and it's nice to know that we are going to be taken care of.
The surprising thing, Austin isn't focused on the things he lost.
I still consider us to be lucky. Jenny could have got really hurt, if not killed.
Tonight, dust and insulation still fill their living room, covering the material things, but not the memories.
We'll be back here eventually. It'll be a long time, but we'll be back.
Throughout the storm's aftermath, we reached out for basic necessities to get us through the power outage. But with stores losing power, that became a challenge. That's why the general store was such a welcome oasis. Even though they were without power too, they opened their doors to customers, guiding people by flashlight to get things like batteries and other essentials.
Grabbing customers one at a time, walking them through the store the good old-fashioned way with the cigar box up front.
The general store says closing its doors was never an option when the community needed them most. As Avista crews repaired lines and restored power, the community became divided between the haves and have-nots. Sometimes one side of the street had power and the other didn't. But being inland strong means helping a neighbor in need. KXLY4's Aaron Luna shows how the community came together through extension cords.
We're jealous, I have to admit.
The Cortland Avenue neighborhood couldn't be more divided.
I feel really fortunate. Makes me feel bad about the people across the street.
On the north side, power is out.
It's been cold.
But just 15 yards away, electricity.
Just enough to have to change the time on the clocks.
In fact, they never really lost it. Northsider Gary Lang returned home Tuesday, hopeful when he saw the lights on the south side of the street.
But then I said, no, they're lucky and we're not.
Then something amazing happened. A close-knit neighborhood coming even closer together. Neighbors with power reaching out to neighbors without power. Extension cords crossing the street. Neighbors helping neighbors in a time of need.
I came over and asked if we wanted a pot of coffee and did we want a power cord.
Lang says he plugged in his refrigerator, a heat lamp, a regular lamp, and a microwave. Other neighbors like Dawnette Kelly followed suit.
Well, they just help each other. We just kind of help each other. And
In fact, during last year's windstorm, Kelly happened to be on the other side of the street, so to speak.
we were without power and they had power.
The idea is catching on as more and more extension cords snake from one side of the street to the other.
Yeah, I think there's about 4 or 5 of them down there.
There's twice that, actually.
So now lives on the...
Lang hopes to get power soon because his African parrot is now living on the south side, the warm side.
So he's living over across the street now, and we go over and visit.
And that's okay, for now.
But we sure owe them a lot.
A welcome light during dark times in North Spokane. I'm Aaron Luna, KXLY4 News.
We're not all first responders, but anyone who wanted to help could find a way to do so in the days following the storm. The city of Spokane trained volunteers who could go door to door, checking on those who stayed at home and making sure they knew what services were available.
We are part of an effort to try to contact people and see if people are doing okay with all the power outages and stuff.
I think it's wonderful. They're doing a great service.
City council members and staff also joined in the door-to-door effort. So did Mayor David Condon, who was among those walking through neighborhoods to make sure everyone was okay. During the storm, Mayor Condon coined that term, Inland Strong. It became a hashtag on social media and a rallying cry for our community, and it brought out the best in our neighbors, including a man Jeff Humphrey met who was giving his time to serve others.
The uprooted firs flopped down on Stephanie Yancey's home like two big evergreen dogs taking a nap. Despite the damage to her roof, Miss Yancey did not want to leave.
She has multiple sclerosis, and there's an electrical hoist in the residence that helps her with her mobility.
So now Linda Bain Insurance is trying to speed up repairs so Stephanie can get back inside the home where she's the most comfortable.
We're going to bring a big crane tomorrow morning to remove the actual trunk out of the house.
But before that can happen, the trees have to be limbed up. Fortunately, Stephanie saw Cody Kinder's ads on Facebook and Craigslist.
I just kind of put something out there and said, hey, you know, I got a saw and I could help people and you don't need to pay me.
Kinder is an Iraqi freedom vet who's traded in his M16 for a chainsaw. The DNR seasonal worker, along with fellow Good Samaritans Jeremy March and Adam Fogater, have been very busy, but also very appreciated.
Some people come out and buy us pizzas and Subway sandwiches, and they come out there and they give us oil and give us gas, and I'm still going today because the other community, I mean, everybody out there, they're helping us too. They're helping us do this too.
And so while some of us huddle by the fire hoping the power will come back on, Kinder and his crew are helping total strangers getting their wind-wrecked lives back on track.
I thought to myself, you know, what kind of man would I be? What kind of Marine would I be sitting at home idly while I know that there are people out there that needs help and I have the ability to help them and I don't need to get paid for this. This is something I enjoy doing.
What a story. And Cody's sacrifice inspired many of you as well to contact KXLY4 News and pay it forward.
I watched the story on TV and then I went online and read the rest of the story, and he said that he was going to volunteer and he didn't have, you know, people were contributing gas money to him, and I wanted to help out, just give him some gas money.
Stormy McElroy wasn't the only one inspired by Cody's sacrifice. People dropped off lunches and coffee, and one of our KXLY gas and grocery winners passed on their good fortune to Cody.
Gas we could definitely use.
Keep the truck rolling around.
Yeah, this is what's actually keeping us going forward. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do it without the community helping us out. Most likely what we're going to do is we're probably going to donate the grocery side to probably UGM or somebody who can actually use it for a good cause.
Awesome.
We're pretty good running on our donuts and coffee in the morning, so we definitely don't need the groceries, that's for sure. We'll just go ahead and donate that probably.
Yeah, but the gas will help.
The gas will definitely help.
It's stories like that proving our community truly is inland strong.
And what better message to send this holiday season? Thank you so much for being with us as we look back on this historic storm.
And thank you for inspiring us to be inland strong.